to the Is Thom Podcast. Come on, Is Thom Podcast.
Welcome to the B Sound Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, and he's pretty awesome. I'll let him tell you. Yeah, I will let him tell you about himself. See, I got to slow down and make sure I get that right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Thom Calhoun. So, Tom, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and like who you are, what you do?
Thanks for having me on the show, man. It's awesome to be here.
Yeah.
I just record music at home for the most part. I play live music in a few different bands. Just recording mostly my own stuff, but I record music for my friends and for a couple other people sometimes. Kind of still getting out there in the audio world.
Sure. Well, I know I've heard a few things you've done, and I've always liked discussing those things with you. You know, the things that you've shown me, or we've kind of helped each other out along the way as well. So I do appreciate you for that. Like I know recently
tracks.
What's that?
A few obscure tracks.
Yeah, a few obscure tracks. Well, I know personally, like you really helped me out with like the Bobobot thing. Like I had a track I was releasing, the new pop, and I was like stuck on it, and I was like, man, who can help me out with this? And I came to you, and you gave me exactly what I needed for that track. So
yeah. It was just that low end bass. That was the only thing I remember hearing.
Yeah. How did you listen to that? Were you referencing it through what you have there?
I have these like awesome speakers from the 70s.
Uh-huh.
They're like, I think they're Pioneers, but they're really old school, and they just have a really great sound, like unmatched by anything else that I found so far. So I usually test like those boomy tones on the 70s speakers, and if they don't hold up on those, then I know something's a little off there.
Right. Yeah. So it's would you say those are your like reference speakers then?
I think they're just like home entertainment speakers, but I use a couple different layers of referencing. That's probably my last. I would call it like my car test, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, the car test, like.
It's the equivalent.
Yeah. Well, so I know a lot of people, they use the car test because, well, that's where you listen to the most music probably is most people listen to it in their car. So you get used to those speakers.
Right.
So I'm assuming like those speakers you have are like, hey, these are the speakers I'm really used to and I really like.
Yeah, it's a similar process to the car test, really.
Yeah. Do you ever use the car test still, or is it like?
Yeah, I still do sometimes, but it's I'm gotten a lot more confident nowadays with it.
Yeah.
I know if it sounds good in here now. I go out to the car and I'm usually pretty happy with it now. So
isn't that great?
A little bit less nowadays.
Yeah, when you get to that point where it's like you get confident in how your mix is going to sound, and you just know it. Like once you get it sounding good, where you know it sounds good, it's like everything
it took a long time.
Yeah, it does take a while. Took me a while too. Took me years to get to a point where I could do that. I don't know. How long you been at this?
I started playing guitar when I was probably like 12.
Yeah.
20. I'm 25 now.
Cool.
Naturally kind of just got into recording music through my buddy Tony in Asswater, my other band. He was recording like raps and making music on his laptop, and I never even knew you could do that before.
Huh.
And so we just started getting into recording more stuff together, and I started getting into a bit more rock music stuff when I was like 18 or something, and that's when I really started recording like at home by my own self.
Okay.
I didn't like the idea of like having to outsource everything and having to ask everybody for help all the time. So I just wanted to figure out how to record it myself. And so for, I don't know, like something around like 10 years or so, it's kind of just been a build up to learn how to do it myself now.
Yeah. Well, what did you start with recording? Because your story sounds very similar to mine, where it's like, I went to a studio when I was 16 and I was like, wow, this is a lot of money for what you do. And it was cool and everything. But eventually I was like, I got to buy a 4-track and do it myself. So I'm not outsourcing it all the time.
Yeah.
So like, how did you start out with, like, on computers? Or
I was lucky enough. I got a refurbished Mac laptop that came with a whole bunch of audio software. It was whoever had it before me, it was already cracked and whatever. But so like I just had a whole bunch of professional software to try out right from the get-go, and just bought a Focusrite cheap interface and just started recording stuff, trying things out.
Hell yeah. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that you started playing rock when you were 18, but you started playing guitar before that. What did you play before you were into rock?
I was playing like blues and just stuff in my bedroom, like not really jamming with other people.
Yeah, just doing what you could, picking up things
just
here and there.
Learning.
Yeah.
Then I started actually like getting into the room and jamming with people like right after high school.
Right on. Is that where Asswater came from?
Yeah, we we made a lot of noise back then. Just a bunch of music equipment in a small room, just smashing and going crazy. We've developed it since then now, though.
Yeah. Has any of that early stuff been released, or are you?
Yeah, actually, that was our Hold the Floodgates. That was our like debut.
Okay.
I guess we recorded it a long time ago, but we thought we weren't very good. We didn't really like it. We had a lot of people tell us that it wasn't very good, and so we held off for a long, long time. But eventually, looking back, I realized that was all like that wasn't true. It was actually really good stuff. So, and I had more skills, so I was able to put it all together in a better way that made more sense to what we actually wanted to do. So
that's cool.
Even though it took a lot longer, it actually came together with more quality. Like, it was way better than if we would have released it back then.
More quality because you've learned how to present it better?
Yeah, they culminated and developed, like, all of the recordings just they had time to simmer.
I see. We had
a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah. How much is a lot of time? Like years?
Yeah, probably like 7 or 8 years. That album was recorded and kind of just sat around.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 5 years. I don't know. Something like that.
Right on. Was that the one that I did a remix on? Was that the follow-up?
No, that one was our follow-up.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't think I've heard the first album then. Maybe I have. Maybe you released it recently then, right?
I think we released it in 2019.
Okay. Then I've probably heard it.
It's like more like home recording type, or more home demos and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what all bands are you in besides Asswater?
So I have Asswater, I have Hord, which is my buddy's band here in Western New York. That's it's their writing process, but I'm the bassist in that band.
Oh, cool.
And I help them with the studio work and all that. Then we have I have a cover band that's for like live gigs or whatever that we just do whatever shows around here we can get. And I was in another project, a doom band that I put out an album with as well in 2020. Wine Spell.
Okay. I'm familiar.
That was a full length album that we put out with that one.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
So I'm in only 3 bands right now, I guess. But
only 3. Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I think I'm in a similar situation, but like I'm in a Nirvana cover band. I don't know what kind of covers do you guys do?
We do a lot of grunge, but a lot of the hits that people also want to hear mixed in with it. We do like Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains. We do some Nirvana and
okay.
A little bit of everything, really. Sometimes some blues.
Oh, okay. So it's mostly like the grunge hits and then a few blues
Some
things
radio hits in between, yeah.
like radio hits like I don't even know who's popular on the radio now. I can't.
Maybe not nowadays, but popular like back kind of classic rock radio, you know?
Oh, okay. So you're not doing like Britney Spears or something.
No.
So yeah, you have. Well, did you work on? I saw you did maybe a project with John Betz. Is that you?
Oh yeah. That was a collaboration. He had a bunch of songs that he wants to put out, and so we always wanted to collaborate on something. I always really loved his music, and he was a huge inspiration on a lot of my own build up in my music.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was awesome to finally be able to put our heads together and collaborate and put a track out.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I worked with John a long time ago, like 2017 or something. He had sent me a track that he did guitar and vocals on, and just said, "Go to town and do everything else." And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's good at writing.
Yeah, and he's one of these people in like the grunge community who is very supportive too. And
yeah, he's been a big supporter since like day one with Asswater and all my bands.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Anybody listening to this should check out his stuff. So getting back to like your musical journey, your path that you've been on. I'm curious, did you have any mentors along the way? Did you have anybody who like showed you the ropes or?
Probably my first mentor, was Tony actually, from Asswater. He showed me of what writing music even was, or just making music in your house as your own. And then he actually brought me to guitar lessons. And, that's where I had another mentor. Our guitar teacher, he taught me enough to get started. I took a couple years of lessons there. Learned like the blues and a little bit of all that rock and roll stuff to get you started. And
yeah,
so those are my local mentors getting me started. But I know I spent a lot of time learning on YouTube.
Yeah,
mostly. Ben Levin, his channel.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Levin, he's in a band called Bentney, and his
Bentney,
channel,
like your kneecap knee.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Bentney, his channel focuses on a lot of like musical theory and just common things to get better at practicing and recording, just anything that has to do with being well versed and practiced at music, I guess, but in practical ways. And he's extremely creative, so it's like his videos are always like they'll blow your mind usually.
Interesting. So it's more on the creative side of like creating music rather than like production.
Yeah, he shows a little bit of everything.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna have to check this out.
It's really practical. He'll like apply what he's telling you and then do it in real time and produce a song through the method that he's telling you.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And, sometimes he'll put a whole animation and like a crazy video together around the lesson. So it's like you get a whole art piece and along with it.
Wow. That's pretty cool. You'd be surprised how many people, just doing this podcast, asking about mentors and stuff. It's like almost everybody's mentioned YouTube as a mentor, including myself.
Yeah. I've learned a lot on there that I never would have. It would have taken me years to learn that anywhere else.
Right.
Saves a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, I've been recording for years and years and years, and once YouTube became a thing, it was eye-opening how much I didn't know and how much I could still learn.
Yeah.
And it's the information is unlimited, it seems like. You can learn something new every day.
basically.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool. So far, what would you say your biggest challenge has been on your musical path?
Usually it's my own my own motivation is the biggest factor that holds me back sometimes. It's hard to stay motivated and stay inspired and always do your best and not put obstacles in front of yourself.
Yeah, obstacles are a pain in the ass.
Most of my own personal barriers are my own. They're my biggest obstacles usually.
Your own personal barriers?
Yeah, like my own, like if like social anxiety and just little stuff like that. You know, those are usually the hardest things to just push yourself into something and get it done. The music usually is the easy part.
Yeah, I can relate. I can totally relate to that. As someone with a lot of social anxiety myself, I mean, I've been trying to get over it. And, you know, we were talking before this all started, and that's kind of what this is me trying to get over my social anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
And just talking with, you know, other people. And it's like a lot of artists, I think, struggle with, you know, being introverted maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So are you and Tony both introverted, or is it like...
Yeah, we both are to some degree. Tony might be a little bit less introverted than me at times, but
yeah,
we both have our anxious moments, you know.
Yeah, right. Well, what do you do to overcome it then?
A lot of with music, it's the music actually empowers me to do it. So like I'll have a lot of anxiety before a show, but like once I get into the moment and I just play the music, I just focus on the music, and most of that anxiety goes away. And like over time, it's you get better at it. So it's like it becomes more like it builds up, and I don't know how to explain it best, but you get better every time around, I guess.
You get better
every show.
You get better at what thing?
At dealing with anxiety. Like once I get into the music, the music actually empowers me to get beyond that anxiety. But
yeah,
so you get better at it though. Like every time you do that,
yeah, right,
it becomes more like instantaneous. You can snap right out of it.
Yeah. You know, man, I can really relate to that. It's the Bobobot thing. I've been talking about this, and it's almost like wearing a mask, where the mask kind of allows you to get out there and be yourself almost. It's a weird thing because it's like you feel empowered by either getting on stage or performing or whatever it is, and it allows you to free yourself and just be who you are.
Yeah.
Would you say that's what you go through? A similar thing?
Yeah, it's the music. It just carries me somehow. Like I just start putting my energy into the music rather than what is in my head or whatever at the moment. And,
yeah,
I just play the music.
Yeah, and that's for any band you're in, no matter if you're playing covers.
Yeah,
or...
it doesn't matter if it's covers or originals. That's just how I use the music to carry me through the performance and over the anxiety or whatever obstacle at the moment.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that. So let's see. I mean, I have a few questions that I ask a lot of people and stuff. You mind answering a few?
Nah, man, I'm all for it.
Cool, man. Yeah. You know, thanks again for being here, man. It's so cool to have you. I've been looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this because you and we talk all the time, you know, online, and it's like I've never got to like see you, face to face.
I am super introverted, actually.
Yeah,
I'm not super big into like social media or anything like that. I'm
right.
Usually just focusing on my music.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. That's a good thing to, you know, put all your money where your mouth is, kind of thing. I suppose.
Try to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good thing mastery is a good thing, you know, trying to master your unique skills. Speaking of which, what skills do you have do you think that are unique to you that have helped you along the way?
Probably foremost would be my musical ear. I guess it's my pitch. I guess your ear has to be like trained to be able to hear a certain pitch, and you can practice. You can practice like hearing pitch more accurately.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that was probably one of the biggest things that pushed me the furthest along early on, especially like getting better at guitar, getting better at recording, and just being able to hear what you actually need to be able to hear to know if it's actually as good as it sounds, or like it's just you have to be able to hear it in your mind and then get it in real life, you know?
Yeah, I think so. Well, when you say pitch, do you mean the notes, the pitch of the notes, or do you mean like the frequencies that you want to?
A little bit of everything, because you got to be able to hear the pitch of the melodies. But when you get into recording, you're also hearing like layers underneath the melodies. You're hearing different frequencies and noise and everything. So like your ears have to be pretty well trained to. So I would say that early on, that was something that carried me through a lot of my early recordings, especially, was just being able to have a good ear. And mostly pitch at first. You get good at pitch through playing guitar. And then I moved on to like sound engineering and everything.
It does seem like a natural evolution of that.
It's like adaptive listening, or
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Paying a lot of attention to what you're listening to, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. If you're paying a lot of attention, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if most people probably don't listen to music like you and I. Like we listen to music like very intensely, and you know, we're listening to all the bits and pieces of it and all the frequencies and the performances and the entire thing. Most people, I think, are very passive when they listen to music.
Yeah.
So it probably is what makes us.
You have to be an active listener.
Yeah. Exactly. So that being said, like, what do you wish you had known when you first started out that would have helped you, like that might help other people?
That I'm probably always gonna be like the biggest critic. You'll probably always be your worst enemy when it comes to judging your own music. Because with my recordings like 7 years ago, I thought they were like pretty much garbage. And most people might still, it's always going to be subjective.
Yes.
But it was a long time for that album to come out because of our own opinion. We thought it wasn't a good album, even though it was. There's always going to be somebody somewhere that wants to hear that stuff or will enjoy being able to hear it. It's a strange experience just being able to share the music.
Yeah.
So you might not like it today, but like, maybe a couple years down the road, it's gonna sound different.
Definitely. Once you can get away from it a little bit and kind of let it simmer, then you maybe aren't so attached to it, to where you are like, oh, this is, you know, it's not as bad as I thought because I was so emotionally attached before. Yeah,
that's gonna be one of the biggest obstacles, really.
Yeah.
Not being too big of a critic.
Right.
Get what you can, just get what you have out there right now while you have it, you know?
Yeah, that's important. I think you're right. I think it's important that you just put stuff out there, you know, because
with what you have.
Yeah, with what you have. Because especially nowadays, it's not like it used to be where where there was like a very limited way of getting music out there. Now you're competing with billions and billions of songs, and it's like you might as well just throw what you have out there and let people find the value in that, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you're into right now? Anything that you're like curious about right now or doing?
Right now I'm trying to get better at making videos and things like that. I'm learning a little bit about like 3D animation.
That's cool.
Programming and all that stuff to make little scenes and characters to make videos.
That 3D animation thing, what is that? What are you working with?
It's just a computer. It's on a program called Blender mostly. Most people use Blender nowadays, but
I've messed with it a little bit, and it seems a little convoluted. It seems like
it's really complex. That's for sure.
Yeah. I was hoping to get like this easy thing where it's like, hey, here's a preset and you can kind of do these things, but it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah, you kind of have to make your own presets, make something that works for you and just get it going, you know?
Yeah. Have you made anything yet?
I'm like stocking up models, like assets and models and stuff to start putting them into action, putting little scenes together.
Yeah.
So I haven't put anything out yet, but soon. Cool.
Is that going to be like an Asswater thing, or do you know what that's going to be? What that's going to entail?
Probably Asswater will be one of the first bands that I do anything just experimentally, just to like learn how to do it. But I would definitely like to employ it on plenty of future projects with other bands as well. Yeah,
man, that's such a good asset to have is knowing how to do 3D animation. I think, you know, well, it's one thing, it's an asset to do music already, but once you get like that animation going, that's a whole nother world of value that you can offer.
Yeah, it's real fun with Asswater. We just we'll just throw all kinds of crazy stuff into our videos. So far, nothing too serious so far, but
yeah,
a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, that's part of the fun.
We want it to just get better over time.
Oh yeah, I've noticed an evolution with you guys for sure. And I'm not just saying that because I was in one of the videos or anything. I'm just saying like,
oh yeah,
it's like yeah. I mean, like before you guys were just taking like some stock footage, and I know you guys are still doing some of that, but it's getting more and more involved. It's what it seems like to me.
We always try to put a personal touch on there.
Yeah.
Even if we're just using stock footage, we still try to personalize it somehow. So
give me an example of like, how would you personalize a thing like that you've had before with the stock footage? How did you personalize it?
Well, we just work in shots of ourselves doing stupid stuff, or just some of our own just videos of us doing whatever in between sometimes, or sometimes you just overlay an image together or put some crazy effect down and see what it looks like or whatever. Really.
Yeah it's very 420 friendly, you could say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Speaking of which, you guys have a channel, GrungeRock420, right?
Oh yeah. We have that's more like a community thing we like to do. We just like to share underground music that we think more people need to hear, and it's really some of the best music in my opinion, because I'm not really I don't listen to a lot of mainstream music very often, but I actually like music with mistakes and imperfections and a little bit of background noise here and there.
Yeah.
So we just share really good stuff from our friends, or stuff from the local music scene here, or stuff we just find sometimes online that we like, that we think is awesome, that needs to be heard more.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah. How did that come to start out? Like, was that just like something you and Tony came up with, or?
That was Tony's, just his personal channel for a long time. And he would just post bands on there that he liked. And So mostly it was like Senium and like Black Sabbath and stuff like that when we first started. Like the more popular bands, I guess. But then we realized we could do something more with the whole idea of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we also wanted to use it to like kind of archive rare tracks or older tracks or stuff that kind of gets kicked to the side.
Yeah.
That people might forget about over time.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll come back in like 5 years or 10 years and maybe that's the only place you'll find that track, you know?
That's a cool idea, the archive stuff.
Yeah, we don't want that stuff to get lost in the sands of time.
Right. Well, it also seems like you guys have been using it to, like, I don't know, release some underground acts too, like to get them a little more notoriety.
Yeah, we carefully place different bands and acts around. Like as we rise the channel up, we try to put our friends up on a pedestal on there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's providing a good service for, you know, people who deserve it, you know? Anything else you've been into? Anything else?
I've just, this summer I'm mostly just playing some live shows.
Oh yeah.
Working on recording some side project stuff, but not any major releases anytime soon. I don't know.
Live shows with the original band or with the cover band, or
a little bit of both if I can.
Yeah. Are there plenty of opportunities? Because it's like, I know.
Well, I live in the country a little bit.
Oh.
So it's more like we're doing like private parties and weddings and things like that.
What's that band you put out a live release?
It's Hord.
Hord. I remember that band, and it did pretty well. You put out a live release at a barn, and like there was a lot of people that showed up to the live event for that.
Yeah, that was a lot more than I expected, actually.
It was pretty kick-ass. I mean, people are hungry for live music.
Yeah, that was at probably the peak when people were really hungry for it.
Yeah. It's like the whole pandemic kind of hurt musicians, but if you could make it work for you, it helped.
Yeah. Some people never stopped chugging along, you know. They kind of used it as an opportunity.
Right. Yeah, I know a dude here who he started like a Facebook group, and he ended up getting something like 100,000 fans. A dude never had anybody, you know, listen to his music. Not anybody, but you know, he'd be playing shows and 20 people would show up or something, and then now all of a sudden he's got 100,000 fans because he was providing a live service to people.
Yeah. I saw a couple artists get a lot of followers from that.
Yeah.
Or that's when they actually got their entire following, basically.
Right. It's pretty wild. You know, I never thought that a lack of freedom could result in something like that. Right on.
Yeah, we had fun with that live Hord with live at the barn. That was probably one of my favorite releases so far, anyways.
It was really cool. Like, did you spend a lot of time preparing for that? Like, what all went into that?
It was kind of like all right on the spot. We just decided we wanted to put out a live set, and I kind of put it all together in my head, how to set up all the equipment in a way that would capture everything and be able to orchestrate the videos and everything together with it. And then we just hit go and just started going.
And you're pretty happy with the way it came out, the sound?
Yeah, the mixing and mastering. Maybe other people's opinion, they might not like it, but it's I really like the sound of that. Yeah,
that's cool. That's what matters, really. And the video was like multicam, right? You had a couple cameras.
Yeah, we had a couple different shots, maybe 2 or 3, I think.
And you edited
different angles. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I listened to it. I remember it was enjoyable. It was pretty enjoyable. Is that up on like Bandcamp or anything for people, or?
Yeah, you can download it for free on Bandcamp, the audio, or you can You can find the full video on the Hord Facebook. You just look up Hord Western New York, and I think you'll find it on there. I don't know how, because I don't use social media too much. But.
Yeah. Are you anti-social media? I'm just curious.
It's weird. I just don't like to put out too much of my own, my soul and my energy out there, I guess, you know?
Mm.
I feel like it kind of sucks you. It sucks your soul out of you, kind of.
It makes sense. I mean, there's a definite, like, people get addicted, right? People have like a dopamine addiction or whatever it is.
I was addicted to it for a long time, so I just feel healthier and more motivated to just focus on what I want to do when I'm not working all that into it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm like trying to promote or sell whatever, try to sell music or promote music or whatever, then I get on there just enough to do that stuff. But.
Right. Well, it seems to me like the internet is a tool pretty much. And some people, it's like their life.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, it's like, personally, I try to find a balance. And it's, you know, for me, it's like, well, I've limited myself to a half hour a day on social media, and that's probably good enough. But yeah, I know you gotta protect yourself from it, especially, you know, an artist who, there's been times personally where I haven't created any art for months because I was so sucked into the internet stuff.
Yeah.
And I can see why you'd want to avoid it.
It'll put like false perceptions of where your music should be, or what's deemed as a success, or, you know, like it'll just put false realities of what your music is supposed to be. Or
yeah, well, because you're comparing yourself to others. Is that what you're saying?
You might not be getting the success you think you're supposed to, or might not be reaching people, or
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I hear you. I struggle with some of that too. It's like I've definitely gotten frustrated and been like, why is nobody even looking at this music I put out?
Take things personally that you shouldn't even be taking personally.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, I already created this. It's out there. You know, if people want to check it out, they'll check it out. But yeah, I know. Yeah, man, that's a tough one. The internet. All right. So winding down here, one question I ask everybody is there anything today that I should have asked, but I did not?
I don't know. It's a weird question, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's like, it basically is saying like, is there anything else you want to talk about? Is there anything I didn't ask that like, oh yeah, I wish you would have asked me about blah, blah, blah.
I don't know, man. It's hard to talk about my own work self, you know, or my own personality.
Oh,
or try to make it larger than life. It's a weird thing here on.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to make it
worlds.
I see. Yeah, man. You don't have to make it anything you don't want it to make it, you know? It's you're just who you are.
Yeah, dude. I just have fun recording music, putting it out there. Mostly it's awesome to meet the cool people through the experience. Like I've met you and John Betz, just tons of other people through sharing our music, and Celador, the band, like just tons of other people that I consider them as great friends now, and that's probably really the best part of recording music, in my opinion, is actually the people that you meet along the way, and they actually become your biggest mentors, in my opinion, too. I learn the most through the people that I actually work with on music, or that I play live shows with.
Yeah, that's a really good perception. I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right. The people you work with can be your biggest mentors. Which is probably like, well, maybe I should watch out for who I'm working with sometimes, because you can get some toxic ones, I would think.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Most people are pretty cool, though, I think.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about, you did a cover of a Mad Season song.
Yeah.
Is that one of your bands, or what is that? What was that thing?
That was with Dan Butler. He's my buddy in Hord, and he's also in the cover band. So he has a YouTube channel where he mostly posts cover songs, but he posts some of his own stuff on there too.
Okay.
Just it's you do what you can and put whatever out as you can. Just live music with no expectations, just put out whatever you're feeling, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's got a pretty cool channel, and yeah, that was fun to put that little video together. That was we wanted to collaborate on something, and it was just easy to do on the spot,
Sure. Yeah, not to put you on the spot here, but I'd love to do something like that with you sometime.
Yeah, man. Actually, that would be awesome, man.
Cool. Cool.
I've been trying to think of ideas, ways to collaborate with more people.
Yeah, I definitely like collaboration. I'm always a little skeptical on it, only because I find a lot of people don't hold up their end of the deal. Although sometimes that's me not holding up my end of the deal too.
Yeah.
Introverts can be a little flaky sometimes, right?
Yeah. That's probably one of the hardest parts of collaborating is you have your own idea of where your music is supposed to be, your own perception of what your song idea is supposed to sound like, and then somebody else might not have the same, or they might not bring the same energy, or they might not have the same idea.
Right. A lot of it seems to be letting go of those preconceptions and just letting it be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that can be tough because a lot of people have those ideas and it's like, oh, this is my baby and I don't want anything to happen to my baby. And
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you just have to let it grow up and become what it's going to become.
Yeah.
Cool. So is there anything that you have on the horizon you're excited about that you want to tell people about, or is that all top secret? Or
well, I'm trying to make more of my releases available on physical copies and get into the realm of getting people physical merchandise and whatever associated with all the bands. But
yeah,
we're starting with Asswater with the CD we put out, or with the record we just put out recently. Magical Ass Repair.
Okay. So there's CDs available for that, or
not yet? They will be soon.
Okay.
I been working hard to make that come together. Trying not to outsource or anything, it's stay independent so that we just do it with our own hard work and blood, sweat, and tears, or whatever.
Right on. So are you going to be burning these CDs yourself, kind of thing, making the packaging? And
it's going to be all made with love and
super
care.
DIY. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool.
Made with love and care.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, I can dig that. That's such a personal thing too. It's like, hey, the CD was they drew this cover for, whatever. It's like, I've had people send me CDs and it's like they hand drew a cover out for me and, labeled the songs and everything. And it's like, man, I'm never getting rid of this CD. This is awesome.
Yeah, dude. You always remember those. It's a lot more memorable after that.
Yeah. And, even if I wanted to get rid of it, it's like, well, who's going to buy this? It's like, it's just for me, it's very personal. So yeah, that's a cool thing. All right, man. So where can anybody find you on the internet, or how do people?
If you want to find my most recent release, just look up Asswater, I guess, right now. You'll find that one on Google or anywhere pretty much, on Spotify, pretty much anywhere you hear music, YouTube.
Yeah.
Just type Asswater and that one will pop right up. But
is it safer to type like Asswater music so you're not getting like
it might be, but yeah, probably if you type music it'll pop right up.
Okay. Because otherwise you might get some pictures that you might not want to see or something. Or you might want to see them. I don't know.
Yeah, if you look us up on like Spotify or something, we'll pop up though.
Okay. And like Bandcamp, is that where you're going to have your CDs, or is that going to be?
Yeah, we're on Bandcamp, asswater.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
You can find not just Asswater though. You can find anything. I'm trying to put all the stuff that I release on there nowadays.
Yeah.
Anything from my studio.
That reminds me, is your studio for hire if people want to have you mix something, or?
I want it to be.
Yeah. You haven't taken that step yet, or?
I've done work for people, but it's hard to just define the line of are you out there or are you not out there, you know? Are you I would pretty much work with anybody on terms that are fair, but I don't actually have a business front right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into that water though.
Yeah.
It's a tough game to get into, that's for sure.
It is kind of tough. Yeah, you really got to put yourself out there at first, I think.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is getting started on the line of legitimacy. Like, are you under the table or are you above the table?
Yeah, well, I think most of my work's been done under, but that's just me.
Yeah, so far that's where I'm at, under the table. But
yeah, it's almost better that way.
Just get what you can.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I like it.
Yeah, right. It's like, what's not to like about it?
These are the projects that I like working on, anyways.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It's more. It sounds like it's more your style. You know, you like the underground stuff, right?
Yeah, all that stuff you would never usually hear. I have a lot more time to work on obscure tracks. If I was a full business, I'd probably be doing a lot more work I didn't really want to do, you know? Yeah. But I'm trying to get started with more little stuff too, like Fiverr and whatever else, small audio work you can get on there.
Sure. Have you found success there? I know I have in the past.
I'm just now getting into it, really. Like, okay. Just sticking my feet in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on. All right. Well, maybe sometime you'll come back and kind of tell us how that went.
I think it would be cool sometime to do more content together or something.
For sure. It'd be a ton of fun. I really respect what you do, and I really appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here, actually.
Sure. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming, and yeah, I guess we'll just end this here, but thanks.
Yeah, dude, it was good talking, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
Take it easy, dude.
See you later, Tom.
Hey, this is Tom from AW Studios. Thanks for tuning in to the B-Sound podcast. Head over to the GrungeRock420 YouTube channel to find the latest single from John Betz' solo project called Polysorbate. And you can head over to asswater.bandcamp.com to find the latest releases from AW Studios, including the latest Magical Ass Repair from my band Asswater. Have a lovely and craptastic day. Thanks for watching.